What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about why men jump through hula hoops to get with women and why you should stop. In order to explain this, I'm going to go over a movie that I recently saw. You probably have heard of it before. It's called Are We There Yet? With Ice Cube and Nia Long in it. If you haven't seen the movie, you might want to go back and check it out. But I'm going to break down a lot of the stuff in the movie and how it shows man exactly what not to do when trying to get a woman. There's a ton of mistakes Ice Cube's character makes in the movie, and it's actually pretty entertaining to look at it from this point of view. Now, we know movies are fake, so it's kind of hard to say, oh, that's not real life. But yeah, when I looked at it, I saw other guys in this film. I saw this could have been you. This is probably you now. I know I have a younger audience, so this is very important for the younger audience of guys that are like 35 and below. If you are 35 and below and you're a single man, especially if you have no kids, you need to watch this film or listen to this entire video because it's going to show you everything that you're not supposed to be doing when you're in Ice Cube's position. Now let's get into the movie. The synopsis is he gets a new Escalade at the start of the movie. So it's showing that he's successful. He's a guy that does not have any kids, and he has style. He has swag based on that time period of the movie. He has style and swag. So he's supposed to be this guy that can get women, and he has money and success already. Bought a brand new Escalade with rims. So in the movie, he's talking to his friend and they're talking about women and all this stuff. And then he sees Nia Long across the street. He wants to go talk to her, and eventually they end up talking, and he finds out that she doesn't have a car, or something went wrong with her car, and he ends up giving her a ride home. Now he wants to build a connection with her. We're going to stop right there for just a second. This is where most guys start, right? We see a woman, you like her, and you want to build a connection with her. We don't factor in, does she want to build a connection with you? Because in the movie, all Nia Long did was be nice and just use him for the ride that he offered. He took it as, hey, this is my opportunity to go after her. And this is what a lot of guys are doing in real life. And I'm not saying don't take any shots, but as you do this, you have to pay attention. Does the woman actually like me as far as attraction? Not does she like me as a person, because yes, that's a good start that she likes you as a person, but women will act differently versus whether they're attracted to you or they just like you as a person. And you can't get those two confused. So he just takes the fact that she's being nice and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep pursuing her. Eventually, one day he drops her off. He sees, oh wow, she's got 2 kids. He goes back and talks to his friend, says, man, this girl's got 2 kids. I don't know. I might have to get getting good with her kids in order to get to her. And the friend's just like, man, leave her alone, bro. That is, you don't want to mess with that. That's extra baggage. You don't know what kind of situations you're going to get into. And that part is something that a good friend would do in this situation. And this is where you got to listen up again. If you are a single man, successful with no kids, you find out the woman you like has two kids, and we're not even factoring how many baby daddies, you should just stop right there. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you are looking to build a family or find a woman for long term, it's always better to just start your own family or build your own family, not inherit someone else's family. That is a whole different thing. You should be trying to build your family with someone that's young, fertile, and also do not have kids. So that way you two can start from scratch. Why would you cheat yourself out of that experience just because? Why do you think he wants Nia Long? Why do you think he even wants her? It's really just to sleep with her. Think about it, guys. Like when you are first attracted to a woman, you are thinking that you want to sleep with her. You don't just want her just to have her and say, this is my girl. Yes, you could like her looks and stuff, but what do you want to do? So now he's making all these decisions that he's going to continue trying to win her over by building a relationship with her kids, because he ends up meeting them. And the kids don't like him from the start. So there's another red flag. If the kids don't like you from the start, why are you trying to convince them to like you so you can get the woman that you don't even know if she likes you like that? he does get a few signals that Nia Long is starting to come around and become somewhat attractive. But in my head, you have to think about, well, what about the other women that you could get, Ice Cube? If you're the single successful man that has money and all this stuff, how is this just the only option to choose from? It can't be, and it's not. So that's the whole point, is you should somehow still be able to find someone else other than that. No matter what you think, oh, I like this woman. He doesn't know enough about her yet to know if you really like her, and that's where we guys get stuck. You don't really know enough to know how much you like her yet, but you're trying to push and force and convince your way into her life. This is what all the Hollywood movies do. And guys, if you're watching this, that's why you go down the wrong path, because you're trying to convince and sell yourself and like, I'm gonna win her over, and by the end of the day, we'll live happily ever after. That is movies. That's what I'm talking about. This, so the movie takes a turn for the worse. We're not gonna go too long on this. She has to go to Canada for a work trip for Christmas. So her kids are supposed to stay with their father. The father is still around somewhere, and the kids are going to go stay with their father. And something happens where the father, he basically just, he stands the kids up, says he's not going to be able to do it, and leaves the kids stranded at home, even though Nia Long caught her flight. So Nia Long's gone. She can't do anything. She thought the kids were going to be with their dad. The kids are sad, obviously, because their dad's being deadbeatish. So another thing they're going to portray in the movie. And then Ice Cube steps in with the cape. Why? Why would he do this? He hears the troubles and he says, oh man, you know what? Maybe I can just bring them up there to you in Canada. We're going to drive cross country. No, actually, he didn't say we're going to drive cross country. He said, you know what? I could get them on a flight. I'll pay for a flight to get them up there, which may not be bad. You probably could do that as a nice gesture. But remember, he's doing this to impress the woman, which is all wrong. He's doing this to impress her, not as an actual friend. This is where guys aren't really being genuine. You're doing this because you have a motive behind it. It's not because you're just being nice and you're just being a friend. So he offers to fly them up there, and she says they can't fly alone. They're too young. And then he's like, all right, well, I'll fly with them. So this means Ice Cube has to change whatever holiday plans he had for Christmas to fly with another person's kids that he barely knows and they don't like him, just to impress and get the woman. He tries to get on the flight. The kids mess stuff up so bad that they get kicked out of the airport. They can't get on the flight. He's already spent the money on the tickets from what I believe in the movie. But either way, they can't get on the flight. The kids mess it up. So now he's stuck with her kids. And the mom's like, oh no, what am I going to do? I'm just sitting here in Canada working. I can't do anything about this. And the dad's just MIA, completely gone. So it just keeps putting him in this position as weird. And Ice Cube says, you know what? We'll get in my new car, my new Escalade with the rims that I just purchased. We'll get in this car and we'll drive cross country to you. I'll save the day. And that's what he does. Now, as he does this, that is what the whole movie is about. Are we there yet? The kids being annoying, asking him, are we there yet? And they're making it rough for him the entire way through. And that's where you really need to watch the movie to see what he has to go through to get them up to Canada. And he ends up losing his car, losing a lot of money. He's getting frustrated. I believe by the end of the movie, his car gets blown up, like completely totaled. Which, yeah, maybe that won't happen in a real life situation. But the kids, it shows that kids break things, which is realistic. Kids were breaking stuff the entire movie in his vehicle, even though it was brand new. And what can he do about it? He can't whoop these kids. They're not his. And he has to play nice because he has to get them to their mom. So he has to get along, even though he's not really getting along with them. And it's supposed to be showing that he's building a relationship with these kids that gets slightly better over the course of the film, but not really better until the very end. He gets them to Canada, and there's so much chaos in the whole movie because it's a comedy, of course. So it has to show, basically, it's showing laughter at the expense of Ice Cube the whole time. And this is what happens to a bunch of guys. You're living your life and the world's laughing at you because you're doing so many dumb things to get a woman or just to be with a woman. And if other people are looking at what you're doing, it does not make sense. So he's doing all these things, and the movie's just you're just laughing at him the whole time, his demise, losing money, losing his car, losing his wits. And then he finally gets them there. He's probably just a little bit late. And then Nia Long's mad. Nia Long's mad. The kids come there safely. They're safe. They get there, and the kids show that they are fine. Even though it's just not the way that Nia Long thought, it wasn't on time. They get there still in time for Christmas. And Nia Long's mad. She yells at Ice Cube. Even though he saved the day, she had no way to do anything and manage the kids. He spent his money feeding those kids those days. It took days to get there. She doesn't care about none of that. She don't know what he went through. She don't care. He goes through all this stuff and she says, get out, leave. So now he's at the state he doesn't really get the woman. So as he's leaving, the only reason he gets to come back is the kids are moping and talking good about him and saying how they miss him and wish they could be around him because they have built a relationship. So the mom feels sorry for this and sees, oh man, I got a guy that might be around for my kids. Something happens where she ends up calling them back in or something. And he basically gets to stay because the kids like him. We don't factor in the fact that that doesn't mean she is still attracted to him and wants like the type of relationship Ice Cube thinks, but she's just like, okay, I guess it's good enough. They like him. And that was the hardest part for her to find a guy that they like. So she said, this is good enough. I'll stick with it. You're in, buddy. And then so he gets to stay and he's happy and like, oh, I got the prize. And then that is the end of the film. Guys, go watch this and don't do it. I could go on for days why this is bad. I'm going to let you talk in the comments for yourself to explain why all of this is not good for a single successful man that has no kids. If you got things going good for yourself, why would you do any of this? This movie would never happen. I know it's fake, but it's not because guys are actually doing stuff like this.